Hello and welcome to your daily oracle reading for Sunday, August 30th, 2020. I'm Linda the Lightworker. I am the shamanic practitioner and I make these daily videos so we all can stay on our purpose-driven path, living one day at a time, really doing our best to take care of ourselves first and then be available to help others, letting that light that we have just shine out and taking that divine action from Spirit, God, the universe, higher power, whatever words you use. If you want to find out more about me, my info's down below. LindaTheLightWorker.com is my website, or you could email me directly, LindaTheLightWorker@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. All right, today's general reading is an invitation for you to take what you need and leave the rest. I'm using the wonderful Gregory Scott's new tarot deck, which is available on Amazon and also on his website. Check it out, GregoryScott.com. I love this guy. Okay, here we go. You know what we got? Mystery date. Do you remember the game Mystery Date when we were kids? That's the first thing I thought of when this came up. Okay, it's my hot ginger, my favorite deck, my favorite card in the deck, this Knight of Wands. So he is all about like action. He is taking action. He's letting out maybe a little aggression, chopping that wood, carrying that water, stacking up, doing those creative chores to prepare for the future and to keep things in motion. Now you're saying chopping wood doesn't seem very creative. And this is, okay, so he's like the Knight of Wands, right? So he's like in his prime and just like full of energy and ready to move forward. And maybe, you know, sometimes there's a lot of just regular grunt work that needs to be done. Even with the chef, there's a lot of prep work that needs to be done before you put the meal together. There's a lot of preparing, doing those tasks that may be repetitive, but you know what happens when we're doing those repetitive tasks like chopping wood or carrying water or doing the laundry or vacuuming or preparing your home for the next season or whatever that means to you, that kind of work and that kind of effort. When we get into that zone, right, this dude's in the zone, man. He is really in the zone, and things come to him. Imagination works out. New ideas happen. The next steps unfold like, oh, after I do this, then I'll do that, and I'll have all these wood shavings, and I'll make a new pile for Kindle. Yeah, you know, kindling. That's it. Not the Kindle. Anyway, so he's really about sticking to that work. Like there's work that might need to be done. This might just be a regular chore, but putting all of his attention into it, even though it doesn't look creative, will result in creative outcome. And that's simply by just putting in the effort and that perseverance. It's not easy chopping wood. Listen, I've done it. It's hard. It's hard work. All right, our next card is the Five of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles represent the earth signs, and the earth signs really remind us about our material possessions. And this woman is looking at these children playing and feeling left out. And we've seen her before. She's hanging on to that barbed wire, like she is imprisoned and not allowed to go and play. And she is longing for something she doesn't have. But do you see how tightly she's holding on to that? It's going to cut her. It's not going to be a positive outcome for her. And this longing that we don't have for something we don't have, it could be material gain, it could be a nicer home or a better car or better job or more money or a different family. Did you want to just cash in your family and get a new family? Like, oh, I don't want to go back to my family. Look at how well these kids are playing together. In my family, they're all screaming and yelling and hooting and hollering and saying things that you don't want to hear. So there could be that longing for something that you don't have. But the invitation here is, especially if you're feeling envy. You know, envy is one of those shadowy, sort of dark emotions Envy implies lack, that you are less than, or that you don't have what this appears to be. And no good can come from these shadow emotions except to show us, oh, I'm feeling like I don't have enough. So it's an opportunity, especially if you're feeling of somebody else's family, or oh, why didn't I have children, or whatever. I'm keep hearing children. This might be coming up. Maybe some of you are older like me who chose not to have children, or whose families are grown, or perhaps you've lost a child, or something along those lines. That isolating feeling is not going to be able to help you. And if her hands are all scarred up from this barbed wire, she's not going to be able to go help Mr. Hottie, stack his wood, whatever that means. So it really is out of balance, this longing. It's an invitation to, let's see, we have a 5 here. So let's do a 5. If you're really feeling this longing of what you don't have, take a time to feel that feeling, okay, and say, hey, yeah, I am feeling like I missed out on learning how to play soccer. Maybe that's what you're wishing you knew how to do. But think of all the other things that you were doing. Maybe you were in band when kids were learning how to play that, and instead you learned how to play an instrument, and how that music led you down a different path and it had different outcome. And just remembering these pieces that you do have in your life so that you're not feeling left out. Just notice, especially if envy is coming up. All right, Spirit's saying, keep going, keep going. All right, our final tarot card today is the Hierophant. Now, how interesting this guy is. He looks like a young pope to me. But the invitation here with the Hierophant is to perhaps invest in some counseling, right? Or seek wise counsel. The Pope being, right, the top fish. Their hats are supposed to look like little fishes. That's what the top fish, that's what I call the Pope, the top fish. So perhaps it's an invitation for you to go a little bit deeper into your spiritual practice, or to seek counsel for someone in your church, or someone who shares a similar philosophy that you have about, let's say you're missing out on having a family, and you can have a great conversation with a priest or a rabbi or a monk or someone in your community to be able to process this and get some clarity as I stumble around. This also might be an invitation, perhaps, if you are feeling like you wished what the Joneses had, right? Whatever that means, when you're looking, the grass is always greener. So let's say you're wishing that you were able to afford a full-size soccer field in your backyard, and you can't, you're all pent up over here. Then this is the invitation to, maybe you need to take a financial planning course, if that is a goal that you have. Goal, score! Right? If that is your goal, then maybe there are some steps you need. Maybe it's about time to clean up your finances, or rebuild your credit, or to work on that, but you require some advice. So seeking wise counsel, if it's a spiritual sort of percolating that's happening for you, or your financial, somebody, perhaps there's a relative or an acquaintance or someone who you know, or who has started a business that you wished your business was at that level, that you could really talk to them. Maybe it's seeking a mentor. Find the helpers. What's Mr. Rogers say? When there's time of turmoil, find the people who are helpers. Where are your helpers? And perhaps it could be a workshop or a reading or something that helps bring you clarity on your path, because you can get this, you can get there. But when this stuff comes up, Even after you've been doing your hard work, you're sweating it out, you're doing your creative hard work, and yet you're still feeling lack. It's an invitation to seek counsel and to go a little bit deeper so that you're able to move that, so that you're not repeating or feeling isolated, like left out, left behind, not a part of whatever community. So that's an invitation for you to keep moving forward. All right, our final card today comes from the lovely Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. You know I love this deck. Available on Amazon. Here we go. This is really a neat card. This is number 14, and it's Truth Be Told. Right? We see that little wise owl right there. Whoo, what are you talking about? This is about you peeling off those layers. This isolation story could just be a false belief, something that you have believed for a long time, and it's a story you can really let go of. This is about declaring your truth, standing in who you are, who you are, and letting go of those old stories, of those things that don't fit you anymore. Truth be told, especially during this time of Virgo. Now, I love Virgos. I have a lot of really incredible Virgos in my life, and I know some of you who are watching are definitely Virgos. And, you know, one of the great gifts that they have is that the Virgo stands for the Virgin originally, right? The Virgin. But what that means is that they're able to see things with clear eyes, right? So sometimes the shadow side is that the Virgo can be very critical, but oftentimes they're just telling the truth like they see it. So this is the time for you to be honest with yourself. Maybe it's the time to say, listen, maybe I shouldn't be drinking anymore. This doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel isolated, left out. It keeps me away from the love that I want. It's being honest with yourself and looking at your patterns and behaviors of who you are now. And some of these beliefs that we have, especially these isolating beliefs, are things that you learned a long time ago that don't match who you are now. Because you're different today than you were yesterday. You know, you're growing and you're expanding and you're working on yourself and you're doing what needs to be done. You're meditating, you're taking good care of yourself, and you're growing. So looking at who we are today with discerning eyes, asking those questions. Who put that idea in my head that I'm not beautiful if I look like this? Or whatever old belief doesn't suit you. We got to let it go. So it's peeling the onion, letting go of some of that denial. You're going to feel so much better too. When we stand in our own power and we're able to really appreciate what we've created for ourselves, even if you really want something to change, you're going to be able to do it. But make sure, you know, if you are thinking about stopping drinking or an addictive pattern that is keeping you from the love that you want in your life, get a sponsor, work with someone. Don't do it on your own. Get help, seek advice, find a meeting, do what you can do to help yourself. And of course in the program, it's always just about showing up. And listen, sometimes you show up and they take off their shirts. Oy vey, who wouldn't want to go see this, watch that show? Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like there might be a little work involved today, but you know what? I know you can do it. I know you're strong enough, and you have been through some pretty terrible days in your life. And this little thing that's coming up, it's not going to be that big of a deal. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to get to know you better. All right? So be nice to yourself. Say nice things. Don't be harsh. As you're doing that self-discovery, don't be mean to you. Just say, listen, this doesn't fit me anymore. I used to drink Pepsi. I don't anymore. I used to do that sort of thing. I don't do it anymore. It doesn't suit you anymore. You're ready to let go. Shed those layers of denial and be truthful with yourself, because it's you standing in your power, coming into who you are. It's worth it. It's a little bit of work, but you are worth it. All right, my dear, that's our reading for today. I know you're going to be able to do this. Make sure you take extra good care of yourself. If you're working out like this, drink a lot of water, eat some protein. All right, my dear, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.